Thoughts on the readings for April 13th, Numbers 32, Proverbs 23, John 5. Numbers 32 describe the settlement of Reuben and Gad on the eastern side of the Jordan in the territory of Gilead. This was the land recently taken in war from Og king of Bashan. Reuben and Gad would receive their inheritance on both sides of the Jordan River. Moses instructs these two tribes to build walled cities and to inhabit them. The families and cattle were to occupy their land. Moses reminds these two tribes of their responsibility to help their brothers from the other 10 tribes to conquer the land west of the Jordan, before they developed the territory they were now occupying. Moses retold the story of failure to believe God after the 10 spies had brought an evil report, or slander, upon the land. The tribesmen from Reuben and Gad agreed to help their brothers to conquer the promised land. Eleazar the high priest and Joshua the next leader, who would succeed Moses, were given the responsibility of taking command of the men from the tribes of Reuben and Gad. The chapter concludes with a description of the territory these tribes were to occupy and its principal cities. Proverbs 13 is the first full chapter in Book 2. Chapters 22:22 to 2400 hours 22 contain 30 individual wise sayings, i.e., proverbial. We will endeavor to group these and provide brief comments on a few of these. Verses 1 to 9 tell us of recommended behaviors when in the presence of the powerful, especially the king. Verses 10 to 18 tell of consideration for the weak, i.e., the poor and our children. God has, verse 10, established boundaries and landmarks that must be maintained. Verses 19 to 21 counsel us to avoid drunkenness, and not to associate with those whose minds have been dulled by alcohol. Verses 22 to 25 speak of the need to heed the wise advice of fathers and mothers. Verses 26 to 35 tell of the appeal of the wise woman, wisdom, and the foolish drunken woman who destroys not only herself but also all those who are intoxicated with her folly. The chapter concludes with a striking and powerful metaphor as to how stupid people become when they allow themselves to become drunk. John 5 records the third sign in the healing of the impotent man at the pool of Bethesda, meaning the house of mercy. It would seem that the Jews had a superstition about this place just as surrounds the mythology of the waters of Lourdes. Some translations add, it was said that an angel. The man was about 38 years old and a symbol of Israel, who for 38 years were powerless and perishing in wilderness. The miracle occurs on the Sabbath day, and so once again the Jews seek to persecute our Lord. In verses 19 to 47 Jesus witnesses to his sonship, his authority and truthfulness. There was no equality between our Lord and his Father. Jesus' authority was derived from his Father. Our Lord Jesus had no power independently of his Father. And without the Father he could do nothing. But the authority of the words spoken by Jesus extended to the raising of the dead. Those who were morally dead listened to Jesus and consequently enlightened and enlivened. This means that having now heard the voice of the Son of God, they would be brought to life as they will be called forth to resurrection at the coming and kingdom of our Lord Jesus Christ. The chapter concludes with Jesus outlining the witnesses that incontrovertibly proved he